Do we bait against Abomasnow? Dude, this Powder Snow damage is gonna hurt. Bro! That's a good peekaboo. Dude, these players are good, man. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today, I have a video featuring Tinkaton, which is the first time I've ever used it in Pokemon Go. I did my best to hatch as many eggs as I could and, you know, didn't get the luckiest of sorts, but the Tinkaton I'm using in this video is just hatch IVs, so if you don't have a great IV spread one, trust me, it'll still work. This thing is a bulk machine. The team I ran was a Gastrodon with a Tinkaton in the back and a Shadow Mawile. This Mawile was running Astonish. I figured it would be a little bit better as a safe swap. And boy, did this team put in some work. Me personally, I've been struggling a little bit in Spring Cup, and so I dropped a lot of Elo, and Tinkaton was the answer I needed. This thing is about as bulky as a Lapras or Superior for context. Definitely get to hatching because it's definitely worthwhile to use. Let's take a look at the footage. Before we get into the battles, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you'd like private one-on-one coaching, scrims against me, some of my league guides and strategies ahead of time, or even tune into my live stream battles, feel free to sign up through the Patreon link down below. So I played 2 battles right before this. First time using Tinkaton with this specific team, and I won those 2. So I'm on a 2-game win streak, and then I'm just going to continue on to this set. It was taking me a second to find a good team to use it with, but I think this one was the key to success. Like my last video on Spring Cup, I talked about how Gastrodon's kind of a sleeper pick in this meta. I still stand by that. It's ranked over the 100 mark on PvPoke, but honestly, I think it's still very, very strong. And of course we have the Mawile to draw out some counters for Tinkaton in the back. There hasn't been a lot of Fire Fame Mawile that I've seen so far, so that also helps. But if you do see one, you definitely want to just lock it, avoid your Tinkaton on it. Alright, going to just try to Mud Slap down here, and then they have a Amoonguss. Amoonguss is a weird Pokemon into Gastrodon in particular, because there's a chance that they don't have Grass Knot, and it's actually not that bad of a matchup. But the problem is, I don't really want to stay around and find out. So they have the Sludge Bomb, which is definitely the more preferred moveset of choice into the fairies, like Tinkaton. But Heavy Slam is going to be a little bit better than Bulldoze. They're both neutral, but the stab on the Heavy Slam just makes it a little bit better. Bulldoze does have a debuff chance, though, which is nice, and something that I haven't really even seen since they made that update. But there we go. We start off with a win in the set. This is 2 back-to-back sets, and this opponent here, I realized a little bit too late, but I think they just lagged out. So I gave them a chance to kind of come back into this game, but yeah, I looked a little bit too late at this point too. Yeah, I don't think they were able to win switch either way though, because they're going to just try and muscle through with the Astonish and the power-up stuff, Power Punch. But they should have got 1 Hydro Cannon off, so I should be down a shield. Unfortunately, they just cannot throw any moves, and they're just hard stuck here, and yeah, unfortunately we can't really do too much about it, so we're going to just finish off the battle. Sometimes these things unfortunately happen, and sometimes you're on the receiving end, sometimes it's the other way around. Alright, let's see what they have in the back though. Out of curiosity, if they had a chance. I think it was a Lapras. Yeah, it was a Lapras. So the backline was pretty good into this as well. As long as I won switch there, I think I would have had a pretty strong chance. But yeah, the Mawile is pretty much what you want to safe swap into pretty much all situations. I don't think Tinkaton's a bad safe swap by any means either. It is a little bit more reliable as a grass counter though, so having that as a back for your grass counter is a little bit better in my opinion, because it could just tank moves better. And my gosh, my cat's getting tuna juices and stuff all over me right now. Okay, we get another run back at this. And it's a Shadow Abomasnow this time. And the fact that they stayed in to even throw a move means that they're probably not the strongest into this. And turns out there is a Lapras in the back. So I'm going to try to grab all shields at this point, because the Body Slam will add up even into the Shadow Abomasnow. Or if they give up Switch, that's fine too. But I really need to grab at least a shield or flip Switch, because I'm already down shields. This is pretty bad though, all things considered. Because I don't have Switch advantage and I don't have shield advantage. They actually come into this with the Abomasnow, which is really peculiar for me. So That's actually pretty good, though, because I avoid that matchup. And then they now have the Jellicent in the back, which, again, is not that bad now for the Gastrodon. They do have a shield advantage, but I'm not really going to mess around and bait here. I'm just going to throw the Earth Power. I either grab a shield or do a significant amount of damage, and it's going to be a lot of damage there, which is quite nice. All right, and they have a little bit of health on the Lapras left. I think I'm just going to go for the move here. If I can grab a shield, that's great. If not, I should be the Fairy Wind down. Yeah, so they still don't get to the move, unfortunately. Not really sure what happened there, but I think even if they do, I should be able to get to Bulldoze to finish it off. Yeah, I personally like the Bulldoze Heavy Slam moveset. I didn't talk too much about movesets here, but especially in this cup too, I think the Bulldoze is really nice for the Steel types. Flash Cannon, I think, is the other move it has as Steel type. It's more energy efficient than Heavy Slam, but just takes a little bit longer to get to. I think there is some value there if you do want to run that. Play Rough doesn't seem super necessary in this meta, so personally, I don't recommend that. But if you want a hard-hitting Steel move, Flash Cannon's the way. Because you can see, against some of these grass types, it's not the best answer at times. All right. I'm just going to pivot out here because they are definitely weak to Gastrodon in the back in all likelihood if they're going to stay in there. It turns out they actually had a Alolan Ninetales, which is actually not that bad for the Gastrodon. So I'm not really sure why they stayed in Lanturn into it, because that's honestly their worst matchup. But maybe they weren't sure about what to safe swap. I don't know. That's weird. Either way, we have a good matchup here. I'm just going to go straight for the Bulldoze because they're already Shadow and it's going to do a good chunk of damage. If they don't shield, I just start Fairy Winding down. I'm going to let the first move go. Even Dazzling Gleam's not going to do too much here. It's all resisted. But yeah, we could get to the Bulldoze pretty quickly. It's just 5 Fairy Wind, which is really nice. It doesn't do a ton damage. Great catch by them. But at this point, too, I think they're just a little too far behind. I don't have a lot of health on the Gastrodon, so we're going to have to shield a potential Dazzling Gleam. That's fine, though. Right, my cats are... Ooh. She is slobbering all over my hand for this treat. But hey, that's how we get the cat on the videos. Mostly. Sometimes they stay, but begrudgingly. Amoonguss. Okay, this is a really tough lead here because the Golisopod does really well to the whole team, honestly. But I can hopefully get a shield here, and they don't shield for whatever reason, which is even better for me because that's a lot of health that just took away. And then they come back in with Amoonguss. I'm going to come in with the Tinkaton. Again, I don't know if this has Grass Knot or not, so I am going to... And they show the Grass Knot, actually, which is also good because that means they don't have Sludge Bomb, which is actually even better for this matchup. I'm a little worried what they have in the back. I'm going to go for the Bulldoze here because probably could grab a shield or do a decent amount of damage. And they let that go. So I'm a little worried about what they have in the back, but I don't really want to keep shielding here. And it's actually going to be a Lapras. Which is not too bad. I'm going to go for the bait here because they don't have much health on the Amoonguss. And we grab a shield, which is fantastic for me. And then I should be able to land the Earth Power, no problem. But yeah, it's kind of a weird situation to see the Amoonguss swap out of a water matchup. Favorable for them. We get the defense drop, which is huge. And at this point in time, I can just shield and farm down because the Amoonguss has to commit a lot of energy to take this out. I'm just actually go for the Bulldoze. The pacing on this is super quick. I almost got a Soundage down, though, which probably could have been a little bit bad on my end. But either way, we go 5-0 here, which is quite nice. And like I said, I was 2-0 earlier in a previous set, right before this, too. I lost some games running a different team. So, seems so far undefeated for me. 7-0, essentially. In comes a fantastic lead for me, and then I come in to this with my Mawile. Anytime Mawile could take out opposing grass type, like the Ferrothorn, I actually prefer it because, like I said, the Mawile is not the best at countering grass types, especially like you see a Tropius in the back, not the best, right? But the Tinkaton is much better, more reliable into grass types, so I do like that. And then I go straight for the Power Punch. I probably should have gone for the Play Rough, but for some reason they shield. I think I just wanted to boost my damage, honestly, my Astonish damage, more than anything else, so that's probably why. But man, I'm super scared my cat's gonna just bite my fingers off at some point here. She is tempted to, I think. Okay, it's actually a Lavani in the back, and this is actually not a pretty good matchup for me, although the Leaf Blade damage actually really starts adding up. But yeah, I saw a couple of these today. I'm not really sure why a lot of people are running the Lavani, but either way, it's not too bad into either my grass types in the back. I do have to shield a potential Leaf Blade here. But we're in a pretty good position at this point. They're going to quit out there. So definitely a fantastic lead too. Like I said, Gastrodon, it's a little bit RPS-y, but it has so many good neutral to positive matchups that I think it's just hard to replace, in my opinion. All right, Golisopod safe swap. Well, that's not a fun time for me by any means. Like I said, it was very strong to my team. And then they actually didn't even shield there. But I have only resisted attacks, charge attacks that I can throw here. Getting to play roughs is going to take way too long, which is why I went for the Bison first, just to go for a little chip damage. Even though it's charge attack priority, I don't even think this takes it out, so it's actually probably for the best. And then, yeah, I think I survived this, if I'm not mistaken. No, I don't. Oh, like I said, I have Hatch IV, so maybe a high rank one would, but yeah, unfortunately not able to. They have a Shadow Cacturne in the back, and I tell you, this thing is like, it's strong, but it's also super weak. I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of it. I tried using it myself, and it's just like actually a lot weaker than you would think. And they went Dark Pulse for some reason. Maybe they have Trailblaze Dark Pulse only, no Dynamic Punch. Dark Pulse is an interesting choice for sure. A little bit better into some of the like Tropius, I guess, and I don't know, I guess like Tentacruel. So gives you a little bit of coverage, but Dynamic Punch I think is also much needed there. Able to get the full farm down though, which is quite nice. And then because of that, we have back-to-back Body Slam. And they actually don't even shield it, but we're able to flip it. So even though the Golisopod was a problem there, I lost switch there. Luckily, able to close it out on the backs of Gastrodon and the Tinkaton. Okay, and then again, another fantastic lead here. I usually just go straight for the Earth Power, just to see if I can grab a shield or just put them really low. I had play into the Galarian Weezing, so I'm not super concerned. And then I come in with the Tinkaton, just because I don't really want to be able to tank moves on my Mawile. Although this thing's going to get to 2 Sparkling Aria anyway, so I probably had to shield at least once. Yeah, I didn't realize this, but Tinkaton actually loses charge attack priority against a Lapras, and this is Hatch IVs Tinkaton. I mean, their IVs might be also like Hatch IVs or Raid IVs or something on the Lapras, so they end up shielding though, which is kind of weird. So I end up grabbing both shields and switch advantage, which puts them really far behind. But yeah, again, just to really illustrate how bulky Tinkaton even is, right? The fact that you lose charge attack priority against Lapras is a possibility is crazy to me. But I don't think this current video is a great demonstration of how bulky Tinkaton really is, because if it was a high IV, a high PvP IVs, high PP rank, then it'd be tanking way more moves, way better. So just imagine that it could tank damage even better than the current one I have. That's like the true potential of the Tinkaton, in my opinion, which I do think is going to be pretty relevant in Open Great League as well. So definitely be on the lookout of that for in the upcoming days, maybe even Ultra League too. You do need heavy XLs for that one. But yeah, we're gonna wrap up that battle pretty decisively after that 2 shield advantage and switch advantage. All right, this I kind of made a mistake on. I probably should have gone play rough here. Could have potentially even forced a shield, but the Power Punch, probably not the play. I thought maybe the Sound could add up, but it's just not going to match the Fire Fey from the Shadow Mawile. I think I have thrown play rough in later matches in similar situations, but it just also was not quite enough. And then in comes the Golisopod. Damage is actually going to be pretty annoying for me, and again, they resist everything I throw here, so in all likelihood they might be weak to the Tinkaton in the back, and they're not particularly strong into it, I guess, but they're not really weak into it either. So it's going to be another Steel Fairy. Oh my gosh, girl, you finished your tube of snack and then now you're just going to leave right away on cue like that? Audacity of this cat. Alright, I have a shield advantage at least, so... Oh no, we have even shields now, not anymore. But I do have a slight NG lead, which is kind of nice. And this Body Slam at least is neutral compared to any moves I have on my Tinkaton. But at the same time, it's a pretty bad spot I'm in. I'm thinking that if I let this go, I get outpaced anyway. And my Mud Slap damage is not really enough. So I try to get to move here, but then I'm just going to get Shadow Call down. Maybe I should just try to shield and see if I can get to Body Slam, but I just don't think it's possible. And they're just playing that really well, so... we do take our first loss. I believe that's, what, 9 matches in a row before I took the first loss, which is not too bad. All right, speaking of getting a hard counter, we're getting another hard counter matchup, unfortunately. Let's see if we can play our way out of this one. And then we'll shield play rough. Kind of crazy. Well, we're able to flip switch there, which helps things quite a bit. But they actually have ABA Grass, which means that my Gastrodon has nowhere to go still, which is not good. So that being said, Flash Cannon is where this really comes in handy, but at the same time, if you throw a Flash Cannon, they shield it, then you're also quite behind, right? Heavy Slam is a little bit more consistent damage, so there is that going, but Fairy Wind does charge quite quickly, so it is still a potential option. The typing on Tinkaton is going to help carry me a bit here, but at the same time, the damage is starting to add up pretty fast. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate. And they still have a Cradily in the back, which honestly is pretty strong here. I'm going to go for the baits at this point because they still have 2 shields, and I really need to just grab shields somewhere, some way, shape, and how. And we managed to catch a move. Hopefully it's Rock Tomb, and it is. So we have a chance to do a little bit more chip damage. I'm actually just going to throw the Body Slam right away because if I go for the Earth Power, I probably not get the move off at all. So I'd rather just get a little bit of damage more than anything else, just to kind of start chipping this down. And then Charge Attack priority, which is, again, also really nice. They need 2 moves to take me out here. But I also need 2 moves to take them out. So it's not ideal. Yeah, and I'm going to go for the Bulldoze just because at this range, it's probably going to be close to enough. And we're going to go for another one. Oh, okay. My cat's out of the way. I think my other ones might be vomiting a hairball. A little TMI. But we barely hang on. Tinkaton, like I said, super bulky. Or a lot bulkier than I would expect it, and we close out. ABA Grass, lost lead, lost counter swap, but still found a Wincon there, and we go 4-1 to close out the second set. As you see, climbing back up to where I used to be, close to where I used to be, but I'm going to wrap up the rest of Spring Cup probably with this team, definitely with the Tinkaton for sure. So if you need a team to kind of carry you for another day or so, or even 2 days you decide to play that Tuesday, then give this team a shot. Either way, definitely get to hatching on the Tinkaton eggs because I think it's definitely worthwhile. It's a huge core breaker and a lot of great league stuff, and if you want to play in Ultra League, you definitely need the XLs for that as well. Let me know how it goes. And I know my last team, a lot of people hit Legend with it, which is big congrats to anyone that has. Me personally, I couldn't even hit it myself. So props to you all for repping it better than even I can. Anyway, if you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video. And I'll catch you all next time. Peace.